Hey there, everyone, it's Misty here. Thank you so much for joining me. Hey, hi, hello. Welcome to, this is going to be a 2-month, 10-week C2T2 Fusion post-op update. It's a mouthful. This is going to be a weigh-in because I've hit a new low weight, first the lowest I've weighed in probably 35 years. I've got some things to talk about as far as OT, PT, mental health, all of the shit. So it's going to be a long video, so grab a drink. I'm drinking Minute Maid lemonade with the Strawberry Crush water enhancer. It's good. Light lemonade, or zero, whatever they call it. Rob finally found it in the cans. I'm on the fence. Anyway, before we get into that, if you're someone who has sent me a letter, a card, a gift, etc. to my mailbox, cards are coming, I promise. Listen, we're going to talk about why they haven't been made yet, because it's been my intention, and my body said, nah, bitch, no. So I just got a card today, so thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. You don't have to send anything, but I just wanted to make sure that I send out a thank you because I haven't had an opportunity to send thank you. I want to make them. I've been coloring digitally. I mentioned that in my last video. So cards will be coming at some point in my life. So let's start with that. No, I'm going to start with the good. Let's start with the good and then we'll move on to the not great. So I have been losing weight. Initially it was via starvation, basically, because of not eating in the hospital and then not eating again at rehab. So since being home, I've lost a few more pounds, but I have been kind of staying steady. And I think that's just because I've been eating at regular intervals. So I started this week with the intention of wanting to, sorry, something popped up on my screen. Wanting to further this kind of weight loss thing that's happening. Now, as I say every time I weigh in, the number on the scale is your relation to gravity. That's it. It's not a moral compass. It doesn't make you a good or a bad person. If you weigh less than me, that doesn't make you superior to me. So many things go into being obese, I like the word fat. I prefer the word fat. I'm going to use the word fat. Being fat rather than just calories in, calories out. A lot of other things go into it. And so much so that my endocrinologist, our very first meeting, spent 15 minutes asking me over and over again why I didn't get tested for genetic obesity. So there are factors that go into this. But it's been my mission, at least, especially this year, is I wanted to get down to 230. I wanted to lose 100 pounds this year. I would still like to continue my weight loss. In fact, my occupational therapist asked me the other day, sorry, I got to sit back. Posture. Did I have a number in mind? I was like, no, I don't have a number in mind. I just want to continue on my weight loss. So I am weighing in today at 299 pounds. You guys. So senior year of high school, I'm pretty sure it was our senior year, we did flag football. The girls did flag football, and it was the grades against each other. So our senior guys who were on the football team who kind of organized this kind of did a football program. And in this program, they over-exaggerated everybody's weight. Even people that weighed 100, 125 pounds, they put them over 300. And I remember seeing my weight and wondering how they knew, because they got mine basically right on the dot. I graduated high school in 1996 at 360 pounds. The last time I was this weight may have been 5th or 6th grade. So next year is my 30th reunion. So we are talking what is that, 6 years? So maybe 35, 36, 37 years ago is the last time I weighed under 300 pounds. And seeing that number on the scale, it kind of went back and forth for a couple of days. And finally it went and we hit it, and I've got a picture, and hopefully I'll remember. I think I even have a video of me going, woohoo, and I sound like a chicken. 299. I'd been hinting that I'd reached a new low weight. And I wanted to make sure that I had been at that weight and on a consistent level. Am I that weight today? No. I'm a couple pounds heavier. I've been swollen, etc., etc. But $2.99 is my official weigh-in. Now, again, I don't have, so I am down 35 pounds, I think, for the year. I don't remember what I weighed in before I went into surgery. I think I was probably 320, 325, something like that. So I am down a considerable amount of weight in the last 2 months. Again, I didn't do it in a healthy way to begin with. Like, that was just nothing to eat. But I am bound and determined to continue on this trend. The number isn't the be all end all for me. I am like documenting every time I go to the doctor. I take a picture just so I can have photographic evidence. I am not, maybe this fall I will take a picture of me in my jeans and my sweater, but it's summer in Texas and it's hot, and changing in and out of clothes is very uncomfortable still. So I am we're not going to do that. I was considering doing a separate video on my goals and stuff going forward. And maybe we'll just talk about them here. So I mentioned in my last video, I had a pedometer, and I've been averaging anywhere between 800 and like 1,500 steps during the day. And now if I have an appointment, I go over 2,000. But if I'm at home and I don't have really anything else to do, I'm averaging between 800 and 1,400. So my goal over the next however many months is to increase stamina. That's my main goal. So yesterday when I was making myself dinner, I timed myself to see how long I could stand up to get everything prepared. I was just making chili with hot dogs. So it's like opening the can, getting like all of that stuff. And I stood for 4 minutes. Now I'm paying for it today. But I stood for 4 minutes. And that's probably the longest I've stood in a hot minute. So I feel like I'm making progress. Now, if we'd filmed this video just a week ago, I would have been in a completely different headspace, and this would have been a completely different video. And in fact, I was going to sit down and film, and I was like, no, I'm not in the right headspace to kind of tell my story about this. So it was 2 weeks ago now. So that's the yay, like $2.99. My goal is to have so my first goal is going to be 1,400 steps a day. And then I hope to increase that every single week. I graduated wound care. Last Tuesday was my last wound care appointment. So she's like, you're good, shower, get in the pool, whatever you want to do. So we were going to get in the pool this weekend, except Rob painted our guest room, and I'll try to remember to insert a picture. It's the prettiest color ever. So pretty. So we, last night he was working on building the other nightstand. He's got to put the bed together. We've got to build the lamps. And once we do that, we just have to put it all together. And that room is done. I cannot wait to see it. I'm not hanging any art because we did molding on the wall, and I want that to kind of be the art. We'll see. That's where I'm at right now. But anyway, so we haven't gotten the pool yet. I'm hoping tomorrow, not today, because I took some magnesium pills to help with get some stuff going down there. So I am not going to chance it by getting in the pool, because I would not be able to get out of the pool fast enough. So that's kind of what the goal is. So eventually, maybe next week, maybe the week after, I want to try to get on the treadmill. We have a treadmill. My husband walks on it. The PT suggested that I wear the brace the first couple of times. I don't have to wear the brace anymore. Now, caveat, I don't have to wear the brace anymore, but I told her, I was like, I'm going to continue wearing this in the car for at least another 6 months. My concern is that we get in an accident, I hurt my neck, and I have to do all of this all over again. In fact, that's one of the main things I talked about with my therapist yesterday, is the fear and uncertainty, etc. And we'll get into that in just a second. So anyway, my goal right now, weight loss will come. My goal right now is to increase my stamina. I've gone back and forth on whether or not I want to track calories. If you've been with me before, when I initially did keto, I had to stop counting macros because it just came down to like a numbers game. And became fixated. I already have an eating disorder. I don't need to add another one to it. So I am going back and forth on calorie counting. I did do a TDEE calendar, and it says about 1,850 calories a day. That's kind of in a deficit. So I read about calorie cycling, and if I do something, I might do something like that, or I might just kind of be loosely trying to hit that goal, to lose some weight. But again, at the end of the day, I want to be like, not ready to cry yet, so let's move on. I want to increase my stamina. So that's the weight. So it has officially been 2 months and 10 weeks since I had my C2 to T2 fusion. Again, done with wound care. I'll pop up a picture of what the incision looks like. Completely healed, ready to go. I've had Rob put bio oil on it. Is that what it's called? It's supposed to be good for incisions and stuff, and I just want to stay on top of it, especially where it is. So if you want to know more, you'll have to go back and watch the rest of my videos, which I did, which also did not help. So a couple of weeks ago, I was really tight. Like I have rheumatoid arthritis, and I haven't had an infusion now almost 4 months. And so I've been in the RA flare since before surgery. I have FSHD, facioscapulohumeral muscular dystrophy. So that is also, it's a chronic inflammatory, like I have chronic inflammation. And so, I've been dealing with, like, they cut through my muscles. They cut through nerves, and just dealing with all of that, just kind of regrowing and stuff, you know what I mean? So I had been having my PT, I'm going to film my exercises, I promise. So PT has me do this stretch where you take a small Pilates ball and you put your hands on it and you roll all the way out. So I do it on a table, and I go until I feel a really good stretch, and I do that for 3 minutes. And then we do one where you push down, and then you do one where you kind of go behind your shoulders. And I was like, I feel really tight. And he's like, well, let me see. He spent like 30 minutes of our appointment just putting pressure on the right-hand side. And he was putting pressure on the left. And it didn't cross my mind that it wasn't nearly as rough as it was on my right-hand side. So he's like, get a Theracane. So if you've ever seen it, mine looks like a doobly-doo, but it's for pressure point, and you can use it all over your body. So I felt myself getting tight one day. This was probably a few days later. I think it was a Friday, maybe it was a Saturday, and I was doing my right side. I moved to my left and realized I have no sensation in those muscles. If you've ever, like when your foot falls asleep, you know that kind of heavy feeling? That's what it feels like when I touch my muscles in my back. Hello, Editing Misty here. Okay, so I remembered what triggered all of this with the arm. I had my pain management doctor's appointment, and we're like 5 minutes away, 10 minutes if there's traffic. And she can either be on time or she's really far behind. More often than not, she's behind, and it's at least a 30-minute wait just to see her. So Rob normally drops me off and then comes back home so he can work and not miss a lot of his day. Lord. So it was the first time, number one, I'd gone by myself, and number two, I'd carried my purse since before surgery. So I remember carrying it and I don't have a strap, I carry it. So I was carrying my purse, and I remember thinking, damn, this is heavy. Because I had like a soda and my pills and a whole bunch of stuff in it. So I transferred it to my left arm, not even thinking anything, but it felt lighter. And I was like, what the hell is this about? And I really it just kind of went out of my brain. And I didn't think about it again until I was carrying my purse out and talked to Rob. And I said, I don't know what's going on with my back. I said, or my neck. I said, but for some reason, my purse felt lighter in my left arm than it did in my right. Well, it's because those muscles aren't back online. Is the only thing I can think of. I was able to carry it, but I didn't have a whole lot of sensation. So if you guys can explain that, go right ahead. I mean, I have no idea, but yeah, I was listening back and I was like, oh, wait a minute. No, I remember. I forgot to tell you that. So here you go. Here you go. When I tell you this sent me spiraling, this sent me spiraling. I spent, I think, all day Saturday just reading Reddit, like watching videos, trying to find people who may or may not be experiencing the same thing I was. And that was a mistake. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. Because it kind of ran the gamut. You have people who are like, there's this one guy got his video. He's like, yeah, and he was like 2 weeks out of his fusion. He was turning his head left and right, not wearing a brace. And I was just like, I don't know about that. Like everything else I'd read, you know, it's like in the brace for at least a month, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so it ran the gamut. Like someone said, oh, the surgery's uncomfortable. And I'm just like, what in the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? So anyway, and then it was like any little ache, pain, whatever. I was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And I just spiraled out. Like I just literally spiraled out. Because my biggest fear and uncertainty with this surgery right now is I told my therapist, I don't want to have to do this again. And the reason that sent me so spiraling is because I want to be healed and put this behind me. And at 2 months, 8 weeks, 10 weeks out, that's completely unrealistic. I mean, I'm not even done with PTOT. So the 21st marked 1 month home. The 23rd of July marked 2 months since my surgery, but I'm on week 10. So since the last update, I've discovered this nerve sensation. So it's in my trap. I always call it a trapezoid. I know it's like trapezius or whatever. And then my fascia muscle, which is part of the FSHD. So both of those are offline. And so I'm still having range of motion and issues with my left arm. And so that is why I haven't been able to make thank you cards, because I can't move my arm up far enough on the desk to help me make cards. And I need it. I need my arm to help me make cards. So that has been disappointing. And I had hoped that I would be a little bit further along than I am. But everything that I've read and what people have said is that nerves grow 1 inch a month. And I'm not guaranteed that they're going to grow all the way back. And the physical therapist was like, he's like, it's actually probably a blessing that you can't feel it. He's like, I know. I said it can be pretty painful. And he's like, yeah. So that is the silver lining in all of this, is that hopefully the nerves are regenerating. But if you've ever had a rhizotomy, when they come back online, he said it's because the sheath around the nerve doesn't grow as quickly as the nerve. So the nerve is kind of just in there unprotected. And that's why the pain is so much worse when the nerves come back online. And that explains why 2022 fucking sucked. So yeah, it was just, oof. And I was still dealing with wound care, and I'm still seeing OTPT, and I was just like, and then now I've started having headaches every day, and I had a migraine for 2.5 days last week. So it's like, okay, is this a new symptom? Like I started having pain right here. Oh, is this a new symptom? Because this has been such a traumatic experience, and I don't want to do it ever again. Like I don't remember if I mentioned it in the last video or if it happened since then, but he's like, oh, you may have to end up getting C1 and T3 fused as well. And I said, no. I said, unless I am in the worst pain of my life or my neck is going to literally collapse, I am not doing this again. I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing it again. And so yesterday I did that standing for 4 minutes. But one thing it did was it's caused my lower back to hurt even worse. I've already flared up down there. But it's because like I'm trying to change my posture because I have a tendency to sit like this, stand like this, walk like this. So it's like, no, Misty, like keep my head up straight, put my shoulders back. But that causes my belly to be weird. And so that causes my lower back to be like it's lost its marbles. And so I see my I saw my pain management doctor and forgot to ask about pain patches. I don't know if I mentioned that in the last video or not. But the nurse was like, why aren't you on a pain patch? And I'm like, I don't know. So anyway, I went to my pain management doctor and she's like, girl, you look good. She's like, you look good. I was like, I'm feeling better. I said, but the issue that I'm having is I'm still really tight. Did I tell her about the sensation in my back, or I hadn't had it yet? I don't think I discovered it yet. I honestly don't remember. But we talked about like the switching from cyclobenzaprine to methocarbamol because I'd been having success on that. And then we talked about the hydrocodone. And she said, did you know that you're on the equivalent of Tylenol 3? And I said, I'm sorry, what? She's like, you're on the equivalent of Tylenol 3. She's like, you are on the equivalent of a Tylenol 4. And I was just like, so I was on the equivalent of a Tylenol 4 when I had surgery, and that's what I was on before I had surgery. So I was taking acetaminophen with codeine rather than hydrocodone. I don't know the difference. Don't ask me. I'm not a pharmacist. But yeah, so I went from what I normally took, the dose I normally took, to a lower dose, and that's why I was dealing with so much pain and shit. Is that why I've been dealing with pain? Like, I've been dealing with pain. Now, I will say something that happened last week. The physical therapist asked me what my pain level was, and I had to sit there and think, and I was like, I think it's at a 4. That's the lowest my pain has been in years. And now my lower back, I don't even want to talk about her. She's mad. But as far as like pain, I haven't really had that much. Well, I hadn't at that point. It's been worse since then. But yeah, anyway, so it's just, it's been a little bit all over the place, to be quite honest. But so I see she's like, I want to see you in a month. So I'm still on hydrocodone 4. She said sometimes if you just kind of cycle through them, she said it can cause an effect. And I was like, okay. She went ahead and put me back on the muscle relaxers. And I tried to wean myself off of them, and I'm just not there yet. In fact, I just kind of fuck things up. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I do it every 6 hours. So basically about 3 times a day. Now, sometimes I do a pill and a half. And so she prescribed me 4 pills a day. So sometimes I'll do a pill and a half. Now, for the last couple of weeks, I've had OTPT on the same day. And after that's done, I will most definitely take a pill and a half and then a pain pill and just kind of rest for a while. So I've been doing that, but it just sent me spiraling, like just completely. And I had scheduled a Spravato treatment. I'd had one that first week of July, and I scheduled it for 3 weeks out. And like next week, I had to call and reschedule that, and I did it last week. I did it with a migraine. That was real fun. That was real cool. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. But it'd been several weeks since I seen a therapist. It had yeah. So anyway, I just felt like I needed that treatment, and we've gone back to every 2 weeks. I'm hoping in the next couple of months, my therapist and I have moved to weekly instead of bi-weekly. So I think between that and just working through my emotions, acknowledging my emotions, but moving through. One thing she talked about was being like, what do you do when you're a safe space for yourself? And I'm like, I don't think I am a safe space for myself. I don't even know that I've even thought about it. And she was like, how did you handle fear growing up? And I said, the same way I've been handling it now, emotionally eating, emotionally shopping. I have placed like 3 orders from Ulta. Now, to be fair, I don't have one in here, but there is if you are on Ulta.com, I think it's only on Ulta.com, there is the Hemp's acai berry lotion. If you're someone who likes blackberry, or if you ever smelled that Sugar Fantasy scrub from Tree Hut, which you can get on Amazon, by the way, you will like this lotion. I liked it so much, I own 13 of them. 13. It smells so good. But they had it on clearance, and then I had a 20% off coupon. They have it again, I think, for $5, and there's another 20% off coupon. I'm like, Misty, you own 13. That's probably plenty. But it just smells so good. So anyway, but I also got some makeup and stuff. And today I sat down, I shaved my head again. So I did this last week some point. It was growing in Willy Wonka. And I know one of you or two of you said that it's going to grow in weird, but I hated it. And I think I mentioned in my last video, I haven't felt ugly since I was in my early 20s. And it just, I don't know, the combination of all of it just made me feel ugly. So I told Rob, I was like, I'm going to shave my head. So we did. And I just kind of updated it. It's pretty smooth right here. And then like on my lower neck. I even shaved my incision. So, and then I put a bunch of skincare on top of it. So I'm hydrated to the gods. And then emotionally eating. I mean, I'm going to keep it 100 with you guys. Sunday, I got them first from Aldi, but Walmart carries them too. I'm sure somebody makes some name brand, but it's a fudge cookie topped with peanut butter, covered with fudge. Now, I am not a chocolate person per se, but these are so good. And so a couple of weeks ago, I was like, oh, that would be real good dipped in marshmallow fluff. And I did it then, and then I did it again this weekend. And I told Rob Sunday night, I said, I'm rededicating myself to this, but I'm also not going to deny no food is good or bad. Like food there's no morals attached to food. Fed is best. But with the caveat of that, I'm going to do my best to not allow myself to revert back to coping mechanisms that aren't healthy for me. Do no harm. Well, that makes my blood sugar go up, which has been really good, by the way. Like I've got down to 90 one day, like 90, 95. So it's been pretty good. Today's a shot day, so we'll see how I feel. I woke up starving, and I had forgotten that I had asked Rob to buy me some chicken pot pies. He was at Sam's or Costco, and he bought me a box of chicken pot pies. So I had a chicken pot pie for breakfast. It's the small ones, not the big ones. So I had that, and I think we're having ravioli for dinner. Chicken pesto ravioli, I think is what it's called, from Costco. So I'm not limiting my carbs. I'm trying to be a bit more balanced. I had him get me those chef salad bowls from Walmart, so I'm going to have that with the ravioli tonight. I won't have any sauce on it. He may have sauce, I don't know. And then I've been eating the fuck out of those bistro bites from Hormel. It's the one that has the salami, the almonds, and the Gouda. Oh my God. I don't know what it is about that combination, but it's flipping good. So we've been buying those. I wish I could find Genoa salami, like where you could just buy it. We found the chunks, and I didn't care for them. Like, I don't think Hormel sells this particular. I wish they sold it under their brand so I could get it. But one of those trays, I think it's like 300 calories. And so, what's that yesterday? I think yesterday I had 2 of them. So that was 600 calories. And then for dinner, I had some Hormel chili with some hot dogs. And I need a whole bunch of that, like half a bowl or whatever. So am I getting enough calories? Probably not. Do I need to up it? Yeah. As far as protein goes, I've been drinking the Fairlife vanilla shakes and a soda. I've done Diet Dr. Pepper. Diet Dr. Thunder is what I'm on right now. I actually prefer Dr. Thunder Zero. That's Walmart's version of Diet Dr. Pepper, or Diet Pepper. Dr. Pepper. But I also have Orange Crush, and I've been drinking it in that. I haven't gone back to root beer. The last couple of times I've had a root beer, I haven't liked the taste. That's one thing that's been pissing me off, is like one day I will like something and 3 days later I don't want it. Like it doesn't taste good. And I hate that. The taste buds change on a GLP-1. They don't really tell you that, but now you know. It's spelled Bib-de-bo. So yeah, my therapy appointment yesterday was just identifying the emotions that I was feeling. And the big one is fear and uncertainty. Why am I fearful? Because I'm terrified that I'm going to do something that's going to cause me to make them have to go back in. That's why I think I was flipping out about the loss of sensation. But if it is nerves, and does take a while for them to grow back, that's what it is. If you guys remember, if you've been with me for forever, you've heard me say this before. Sometimes my body feels like it's vibrating, like vibrating on the inside. If you've ever hit two pieces of metal together, why do I have two screwdrivers on my, like that vibration system, bigger poles or whatever, but like the reverberation sensation, that kind of like vibration sensation. I have that through my entire body, starting from my neck down. I've had it since all of this started 8 years ago. Professor something, I don't remember what his name is, but he was talking about static in his body. And I was like, yes, you were the first person I've ever heard talk about it. And it was because he has a spinal cord injury. And I was just like, ding, 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 Misty. And I said this to my therapist yesterday. I was like, I have a spinal cord injury. Because she asked me, she's like, what would you say to a friend? If you were someone else going through this and you were their friend, what would you do? And I told her a list of things. I was like, I would make sure that they could get to their doctor's appointments. I would ask them if they need help, around the house. I would try to drive them to their doctor's appointments. I would, encourage them through PTOT. I would be there to listen to them if they needed, a shoulder to cry on or just to vent their frustration. I was like, I would do this, 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 and this, and this, and this, and this. And she was like, well, why don't you do that for yourself? And I was like, damn it. And so it's like, that sent me spiraling. And I remember talking to the occupational therapist the very next week, and she was like, Misty, she's like, you're no longer walking with a walker. She said, you no longer have to wear the brace. She's like, you've made so much progress. You're only 2 months out. And it was like, okay, I have to remind myself of that. So my therapist is like, why did that bother you so much? I was like, because I'm ready to be done. I even had to buy, you guys remember my cow? My cute little strawberry cow that had the emotional support animal shirt on it. I had to buy her new clothes, which is ridiculous. Well, it sounds ridiculous. Emotions are weird. But every time I looked at her, I just would get like my heart rate, I would get anxiety looking at my stuffed animal because she was wearing what she was wearing when I was in the hospital. And I had her with me. And I was just like, I told Rob, I was like, I have to buy her something else to wear. And he was like, okay. I'm sure you thought you were crazy. But I bought her like a cute little sweatshirt and a tutu. Like I had to put her in. Plus we had lost her glasses and I wanted to get her new glasses because she stays in the living room with me. She's still there for me. Yes, I'm 47. Yes, I have stuffed animals. I mean, can't reach with that. Rob bought me a little Care Bear. I prefer the older Care Bears, but this one's cute too. I think this is Best Friend Care Bear. He had bought me a Care Bear. And so and Connie bought me the strawberry squishmallow. So I have dolls. Like, this is a doll. Like, I have dolls and stuff around me. Listen, it has taken every ounce of willpower I have not to buy the original pet plushes from Strawberry Shortcake. I think they came out in 1982. They have Custard the cat, Hopsalot the bunny. What's the Custard? There's another one. I don't remember. Anyway, I didn't even know they existed until I saw them online. And I was like, shit, I really want them. And I had them in my cart and I had to delete them. I'm like, Misty, no. Like, that's what I told my therapist yesterday. I said, I haven't done any work on healing my inner child except I've let her buy whatever her little heart's desired. And it's like, I have to stop allowing myself to emotional shop. Unless someone wants to send me $1,000 so I can just buy to my heart's content. Like, I need to stop trying to emotionally shop. So yeah, anyway, that's kind of, this was all over the place, but welcome to my brain. That's another thing too. It's like, sorry, I gotta sit back. I've really been having issues just with word recall and stuff like that. It's like, I really want to get off some of this Lyrica and I just don't know if it's going to be possible. But I saw my rheumatologist. And we talked and she's like, Misty, she's like, I really don't want to stretch this any further than we already have. And I told her, I said, I want to stretch this out to September, which will put me, I think, 120 days instead of the 90 days. And am I suffering? Yes, I am suffering. I'm not doing a very good job of controlling my pain or controlling my muscles, spasms, or whatever. But again, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to do this again. So I don't want to restart an infusion or restart my anti-inflammatories and fuck things up. I just cannot. I cannot. So the doctor said 90 days. I'm going to push it out. So I have my next RA infusion September the 4th, I think. And that'll make 6 months between, no, let's see, that's not right. 9 minus 4 is 5. 5 months between infusions. And she said that she had some doctors that wanted to push it out 6 months, and she's like, no. And I know that once I have my RA back under control, and she said it's actually not too bad. If I had done this in the winter, we would be having a whole different conversation. But since I did this in the summer months and it's been warmer, now if I saw her last month when it was rainy and cooler, my joints were a little bit worse then, but they're not quite as bad right now. So I am doing okay without the infusion. And I honestly think that's from the muscle relaxer and stuff and just the pain pills. So, what was I saying? The RA and getting back on anti-inflammatories, I honestly think I will be in a much better spot than I am today. So looking forward to the 1st of September. Not only because of that, but I also got another strawberry shortcake purse. And it'll be done then. So yeah, anywho. Any other updates? I don't think so. Rob, like I said, Rob painted this weekend. I'll pop it. Oh, it's so flippin' pretty. I cannot wait. But I got that girl that goes, things you may not remember from the 90s or whatever. And she popped up a picture of the hunter green, berry, and navy color scheme that we had back then. I had that on a comforter. I had the valance in my room. And I thought, oh, I'm basically doing the same damn color palette, but in a much updated way. So, yeah. Yeah. So other than that, you guys, I am feeling better. Oh, bullet journal. We've talked about this before. But I told my therapist, I said, I'm really feeling committed to staying on this track of where I'm getting better, like building stamina, etc. So I bought another bullet journal. I'll probably own 10 by now, but my goal is to set that up so I can track the exercises. I have a whole list of PT and OT exercises I am doing at home. Kind of just keep an eye on my steps. I want to get into a consistent daily routine. How many years have I been saying that on this channel? Probably 100. I don't have one. If nothing else, I want a consistent wake up and a consistent go to bed. I want to make sure I'm getting 9 hours of sleep a night. At the least. That's been another thing. I've been having headaches every single day. And finding a pillow has been damn near impossible. The issue is I don't have a curve in my neck. I don't have a curve in my neck. My neck is straight. And it has to stay straight. Like it can't curve. I don't need a curve. But when you look for like neck pillows, etc., they all have a curve. So I bought just a plain Jane memory foam cooling pillow. I love the memory foam aspect of it, but the cooling was a lie. They were lying liars who lie, because I woke up one night in the middle of the night drenched in sweat, like just drenched in sweat from the pillow. So Rob took the pillow back today. I know Linda mentioned the Cushion Lab and I have a friend mention a pillow, but I can't spend $100 on a pillow or $300 on a pillow right now. So it's like, but I honestly think it's the pillow. And the pillow I have right now, I like a hard pillow and a soft mattress. So the pillow I have right now is a little too hard. I did try just sleeping with my neck pillow, and I just can't get comfortable that way. And even with the memory foam, I was having issues because I start out on my side, then I move to my back. I'm on my side for a couple of reasons. Number one, Rob and I spoon every night when we go to bed, if he's in bed at the same time I am, or if I'm awake. Excuse me, when he goes to bed. Why am I yawning? And I read at night. Like, that's how I fall asleep, is I finish a book. A lot of times I will open something that I've reread before, and that way because I'm the type of person that when I start a book, I have to finish a book. I read the book of Harry Potter when Dumbledore dies straight through. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning. I was sobbing in my bedroom when that happened. So anyway, and that is not a spoiler alert, because that series is like 25 years old. So if you haven't read it by now, I don't know what to tell you. So I'm that type of person that if I start a new book, it's going to be finished in the same day, unless I'm having a hard time just staying up with it. So I've been trying to read, like comfort read at bed, and then I roll over and mostly sleep on my back, which is probably also why my lower back has been killing me, because the way my spine curves, because I have a little bit of scoliosis. But yeah, anyway, that's a lot. How long have I been talking? 40 minutes. Good job, Misty. My eye prescription is all over the place. Listen, I went through 4 different old pairs of glasses trying to find a pair that would work, because I couldn't see through the top and I couldn't see the back. Just through any of them. So if you didn't know, if your blood sugar, glucose is elevated, let's say 3 months, and you notice that your vision has changed, it's because when you have higher glucose, it causes the lenses in your eyes to swell. This is not bullshit. An ophthalmologist told me this, because I went to see an ophthalmologist when I lived in Tulsa. So we're talking 2007, 2008. Is when I finally got health insurance and went to an endocrinologist, and she's like, I want you to see an ophthalmologist. At this point, I'd been wearing glasses or contacts since I was 9 years old. So I go see this ophthalmologist. They do the eye test, and he's like, okay, you're good. No signs of anything. And I'm like, well, what about glasses? And she was like, were you wearing contact lenses when we did the reading? And I said, no. And he's like, you have 20/20 vision. I said, no, I don't. I've worn glasses since I was 9 years old. And he said, you have 20/20 vision. So that is how I know that I've been dealing with symptoms of insulin resistance since I was 9 years old, which makes sense because I think I was 100 pounds in the first grade. So I've literally been fat since 5 years old. So when that happened, I was like, what? And then so now I notice that when my glucose is high, it's kind of hard to see. But since my A1C and my glucose has been coming down for the most part, it's made my prescription all over the place. Now, luckily for me, I can get new glasses in January, so I just have to wait a few months. I'm still wearing my glitter ones. I still love them. I still think they're cute. I think I'm going to go back to the blue ones unless I find some that I like. But yeah, so my vision has been all over the place. So that's made things interesting. But yeah, anyway, that's it. So to recap, 299 pounds for the first time since I was like in 5th or 6th grade. Doing better mentally, working with my therapist, going to start working on some inner child shit, going to start doing some self-reflecting. I have never been someone to journal, but I'm going to start doing that just to, if nothing else, to get my thoughts down and out of my head, to kind of help with the overthinking. Working on building up stamina. I'm averaging between 800 and 1400 steps a day, which is good. I am following, doing the PT and OT exercises on my own. That's the other thing. So last week, since I no longer need wound care, the nurse discharged me from home health. But she didn't think about the fact that she's the one that sent in the referral for PT and OT. So that canceled PT and OT too. And so the occupational therapist was here yesterday. She's like, I thought I wasn't going to see you this week. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, I got a call last week that today was going to be, like, this week was going to be your last week. And I was like, really? What? She's like, yeah, the end of the month. And I was like, holy shit. She's like, but then I got a call back saying that when the nurse discharged you, she accidentally discharged you from everything. She said, so I still have you till the end of the month. I said, but that's this week. She's like, no, it's not. I was like, no, that's this week. She's like, oh. She's like, I mean August. I was like, okay. So my last session with her is August 20th. And I thought something was weird because I texted my physical therapist on Sunday and was like, hey, are you coming this week? And he's like, no, you're going to be evaluated by my supervisor, who I still haven't heard from, by the way. And I was like, okay, I thought we still had a couple more weeks, but I don't know. And I told her, I was like, I don't really need physical therapy. Like, I do sit to stands, I march, I do some lunges and stuff like that. I said, I don't feel like I need that. I said, if anything, I feel like I need to probably extend OT. And she's like, I think you'll be ready by then. But if I still can't raise my arms because of the loss of sensation in this muscle and the nerves haven't grown back yet, it's like, what am I going to do? And I asked them, should I reach out to my surgeon yet? And she was like, no, I wouldn't. So I'm going to give it another couple of weeks and then I'll reach out to my surgeon because I am progressing. Like, she's like, look at you. So yesterday we did arm bend exercises and then we did the arm bicycle. I'm going to have to buy one of those because holy shit on a shingle. I told Rob, I was like, I need to reach out to a fitness company and ask them if they would be willing to send me a recumbent bike in return for a review or something. Because I really want a recumbent bike. And a recumbent bike because I'll be in a better position, like sitting wise, and I can still work my arms and still work my legs. I don't know where the fuck I'd put it, but I would really want one. And that would make it easier on me to build strength in my legs, while also kind of nursing and babying the lower back because I need a fusion there too. And I think that one would be a little bit easier than the neck, but I don't know. It could be just as hard. So yeah. If any of you know of a really good, is that what it's called? Recumbent bike where you sit back and your legs out in front of you? Yeah. Anywho, that's a lot. So $299, doing a little bit better mental health wise, working on building stamina. I will film a video. Several of you mentioned that you would like to see my OTPT exercises. Now listen to me. This is not going to be for educational purposes. This is going to be just how I do them. So I'm going to need y'all not to make comments about how I'm doing them wrong or whatever. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So yeah, anyway, I love you guys. I miss you so much. Like I've wanted to film, like sit down and film and get ready with me video and put on makeup. And I was going to do that to film this video. And that's why you haven't seen it yet because I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And then today I sat down to do it and I was just like, I just can't. There's a mental block there and I hate it because in the past, that time spent putting on my makeup was very much meditation or time for me to just kind of disconnect and just put on makeup. You know what I mean? So yeah. Anyway, still coloring. Look at this coloring page. Look at it. Still coloring on Procreate. And yeah, it's still a cat bed. She's hollering right now. To go save Rob. So anyway, that's it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for following along with me. Those of you especially who've been here since day one. I feel like I'm making progress and I really want to be able to reconnect with my husband. I really want to go somewhere for our anniversary this year because we both need a break. But we used to go to Shiloh Morning Inn in Oklahoma, and the last time we were there, it was not good. And so it's like, I don't know where else to go. So if you guys have a spot that's within driving distance of DFW, it doesn't have to be a bed and breakfast, but just like a nice little spot that's not like $10,000, let me know. We really need a break to get away. So anyway, that's it. I hope you have a good day, night, weekend, wherever you are. Say hi in the comments. Let me know how you're doing. And I will see you in my next video. Toodles. Oh, toodles. Hot dog, hot dog. Misty, you can't do that anymore.